Okay, all right. First of all, very excited about the 5 guys that we signed today. Makes a total of 21 for this class, which is a good number. We strategically kept 2 to 3 spots, just like we did last year, for possible transfers coming up with all that. First guy we signed is Cam Brown. We're very excited. That's Derek Brown's brother. Had 187 tackles. I believe he either led the state of Georgia or was second in the state of Georgia in tackles, and really reminds me a lot of the Deshaun Davis story. You know, a guy that wasn't highly recruited, and but he has all the physicality, the want to, all the intangibles. So we're very excited about Cameron Brown. Charles Moore, defensive lineman from Louisville, Mississippi, a guy that was a priority for our staff. The guys did a super job recruiting him. He was wanted by a whole lot of people. Very athletic, very strong. I really think this guy has a chance to be an impact player, so very excited about Charles Moore. And then, of course, Mark Anthony Richards, our running back that we signed today, a guy that we recruited for 3 years. His brother Amon was a guy that we recruited very hard that ended up going to Miami, had a great career. We kept in touch. Mark Anthony, I really believe, was the most versatile running back in the country. He can do a lot of different things. He's a great running back, but he can catch the ball out of the backfield. I know a lot of people were recruiting him to play defensive back and all that. Really reminds me of Kerryon Johnson. He can do a lot of different things. This guy's a real special player. Very excited about Mark Anthony. And then, of course, Kamar Bell, he was a priority. I mean, we only signed 2 linemen the first signing period, and this is a guy that can play center. He can play guard. You know, we think this guy could come in and have a chance to help right off the way from Moultrie, Georgia. And then a linebacker, you know, we felt like we needed to sign another linebacker too. And, of course, O.C. Brothers is a guy that really stood out to our staff about his versatility. He plays some wide receiver, plays linebacker, he plays corner. He can do a lot of different things. Got a chance to watch him play basketball. I know Coach T. Will is extremely excited about this guy, and plays with an edge. And he's a very physical guy that can really run. So, you know, those 5 guys, we're very excited about that group. By state, a little bit different than the last classes. We signed 9 from the state of Georgia, 3 from Alabama, 3 from Florida, 3 from Mississippi. And I'll say this, Marcus Woodson's done a super job with his connections to that state. And I think you will see that continued to happen with that. 1 from South Carolina, 1 from Texas, 1 from Virginia. And by position, we signed 10 on offense, 11 on defense. And we really felt like, you know, this last session, we need to get another offensive lineman, which we did. We felt like we needed a couple more linebackers, which we did that too. So, you know, I really, when you look at the whole deal, signing 21, very excited about this group. There's some great players in this group. All right, that'll be great players for us here at Auburn. And you combine that with the 8 players that juniors that thought about going out early in the NFL that chose to come back. You know, I think there's a lot of excitement, a lot of reason to be excited. So we're definitely excited about that. But like I said, overall, you know, happy with today. Questions?
Gus, can you talk about your plan for the future with offensive line, because your number is going to be thin in 2024?
Yeah. Well, with the 3 guys we have, the good thing is all 3 of these guys we feel like are impact players. You will see us probably sign the largest offensive line class that we've done since I've been here with this class. And I think we're already in a pretty good spot, you know, with 2020 going into this class.
You say that 2020 class will be your largest class?
Yes. Yeah, that there's a really good chance that could happen.
As you talked about the running backs, having 2 guys that could be everyday guys but are a little different, how important is that in a class?
Yeah, I think it's very important. And, you know, they're both different. You know, we think that we signed 2 of the best running backs in the entire country. And, of course, DJ, you know, he's different than Mark Anthony, and that's a good thing. And really, if you looked at our past when we've had our best offenses, we've had different guys with different skill sets, and that way, you know, you can put them on the field at the same time if needed. But, you know, with those 2 guys combined with what we got coming back, you know, I feel good about the running back position.
What do you think is the...
With Marcus Woodson, what has made him so effective this recruiting cycle?
Well, I mean, he's first of all, he's a great person. He's a hard worker. He has very good connections. And, you know, usually what happens is you get a couple guys from a certain state and they have success, and then it's easier to recruit the next time. There's some great players from the state of Mississippi, and so I think you'll see that continued, as far as players coming from the state of Mississippi to play for Auburn.
What has been the underlying issue over the last few years in trying to get the amount of offensive linemen that you need, so you're not in a position, like you said, we're in 2020, you're going to probably do it?
Yeah, and I'll say this. I mean, I think right now, if you look at our line situation going this next year, I feel very good about it. And then there's some guys that are young that I think are going to be really good players too. So I really don't think it's anything to be concerned about right now. And you look nowadays that a lot of offensive linemen can come in and play early. And that's what we'll be looking for in this 2020 class, which I think is a positive because usually the elite guys want to come in and play early.
When you talked about saving some spots for transfers, what positions specifically?
Yeah, the way I look at it with that is, if you can better your team, a guy that can better your team, impact player. I'm not ready to sit here and say, hey, this position or that position right now, but this day and time in college football, I think it's real wise to hold on to a couple. Like last year, it worked out pretty good for us, with Jack Driscoll, and so it's always good to have a couple. So you'll see us continue to do that.
Gus, you mentioned Derek and those guys coming back,
Yeah.
and you add a defensive line group.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember just on paper having more bodies going into a
No, we talked about that the other day. I think, more bodies, but I think more importantly, more quality bodies. I mean, this could be the best defensive line that we've had at least since I've been at Auburn, and I think it'll have a chance to rival the rest around the country. And there's nothing like having very talented young guys that can learn from older guys, and that does nothing but help. And of course, Rodney does a super job of playing a lot of people, and there's nothing like guys getting experience, and even if it's just a little bit of experience, and then when it's their time, they're not just thrown out there. So I think it's a great situation.
Do you have any thoughts on George Pickens not picking Auburn?
Usually I don't comment on guys that go other places, but he was committed to us for 2 years and decided to go somewhere else. But the good thing is that we have some very young, talented receivers, so we'll be fine in that position.
How tough was that? Because back in December, you said you wanted to add a big-time receiver by signing day, and then last minute.
Yeah, and like I said, I think the good thing for us is we've got a lot of big-time receivers that are young, so that's not going to bother us.
What's your early look, just, workouts of your guys who are already here on campus?
Yeah, so they're off to a great start, from Coach Russell's standpoint. The 9 freshmen, they're together. They're starting to get acclimated with the older guys. We're not starting spring ball until after spring break this year to give Coach Russell a couple more weeks to train, which I think is really good. And then once we get into spring ball, a little bit different, we're going to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And which, in the past, we went Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday since I've been here. But it gives us a little bit more time as coaches, okay? And then it gives our guys 2 more weeks to train, which I think is very important with their development. And, strategically, the way we'll practice, Fridays will be set up a little bit more drill specific. And then, of course, Saturdays are always our scrimmage days. So, really, I'm looking forward to the change up, in the spring practice schedule.
Good date, starting date.
None of it played much.
Yeah.
How do you kind of go about doing that in spring?
Yeah, we'll rotate them evenly starting out. And the good thing in spring, you can do as much 7-on-7 and as much evaluation as you can. And there's nothing like, scrimmages on Saturdays during the spring, too, to help separate the quarterbacks. But we'll start out, letting those guys compete, and we'll see who the best one is.
Is the 18th going to be your starting date for spring practice?
Yeah, 18th will be our starting date on that Monday right after spring break.
Any roster updates? Anyone that's left the team, since the end of the season?
No. Nowadays, it looks like everybody knows with the portal, now that, when it's a little bit more transparent.
What's the status of Big Cat Bryant?
He had a shoulder procedure. It's minor. We expect him to be back pretty quick and possibly even back for the start of spring practice.
As you've had spring practices where you've broken it up and had spring break in the middle.
Yeah.
Now with 4 practice days, do you think
Yeah.
that'll help continuity as you go?
You know, I think it could. And also it's been kind of drawn out in spring, and I know our guys are pretty excited about getting it going and getting it started. So I think there's a lot of excitement as far as that goes. And like I said, I know for our coaches, because we've been recruiting, and we'll continue to recruit, 2020, 21, and they'll give us enough time to really prep. And then when you go spring break and you come back and get it started.
Because you signed 5 guys on, national signing.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
different is it?
Yeah.
Do you see it, say it?
Yeah, it's different. It was kind of weird saying that when I first came in here, signed 5 guys. But that just tells you, well, we're at a new day. And, the stress, there's a lot more stress on the first part of signing day than there is this one. Just from the standpoint of the volume, there's going to be more and more probably sign early. You're finishing your season, and you're still trying to coach, and you're trying to finish things. And, this last signing period really is, a lot of it's directed towards younger guys. It gives your staff a lot more time to go out and, recruit the next class or even the class behind it. So I think that's a trend that you'll continue to see.
Gus, what went into the decision to remove Tim Horton from the running back shop, and what will be his role?
Yeah, well, first of all, Tim did a very good job for us. He's a great person, which everybody knows and all that. And, Tim decided that he's going to do something different, and we wish him nothing but the best.
So you anticipate being here?
No, he's going to do something different.
That was Tim's decision to step down as the running back?
What's that?
It was Tim's decision to step down?
No, it was my decision.
What went into the timing of that decision?
I just decided to make a change.
Anything else, Coach?
Do you expect to return the rest of your staff into next year?
Yes, yes,
Cameron Brandt's sort of an interesting case.
yeah,
He's had 100 tackles.
Yeah.
He's a lot more than 100 for 3 years in a row.
yeah,
He's playing in a really good
yeah.
region. He was the player of the year up there in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
5A, it's like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's a great point. And, just, of course, being familiar with Derek's brother, and, you get updates from time to time, and, of course, things would catch my eye about how many tackles he'd make, and you'd see a big hit and all that. And so I really kept my eye on him throughout this year. And so then we were able to offer him a scholarship, and I think he's going to be an excellent player. And he's got those intangibles, kind of like I said, with Deshaun Davis. Everybody was saying this and that and to this, to that. And so I know he's excited. He's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder, and I know he's ready to go.
Can you speak to
What
your
position
new
you got to play Gus?
Linebacker. Linebacker. I know we have talked a little bit about an H-back too, but he's a football player.
Has Tim, go ahead, sorry.
your new coaches, Connor Williams and Coach Dillingham? How first impressions of them?
Yeah, first of all, Kenny Dillingham, he's a young guy. He's very energetic. He hits the ground running. I think he's going to be an excellent recruiter. And just the time that, we've spent in bowl prep, I mean, he did a super job as far as teaching and the relationships he's built with our guys and all that. And then, of course, Cadillac, I mean, I think combined with our offense and the success we've had with our running backs, and a guy that has the expertise that he has, being a top 5 pick, being the rookie of the year, and just everything that goes with it. And I just think he's going to be a great recruiter. He's very genuine. He's very honest. And then, of course, he walks in a room and everybody knows who he is. He's got a great name. And so, and when you're looking too, I'm always looking for fit within our staff. And both those guys are a really good fit within our staff and the continuity of everything. And so, very excited to work with those 2 guys, and they're gonna do great.
Has Tim Horton communicated to you that he's going to return here and be on your staff in some
Yeah,
capacity?
he's decided to do something different.
So he won't be back here at any capacity?
Right. He decided to do something different.